Well, good afternoon. Jonas Saul here. Don't know how. Had a bad cold for the week, and I've been actively researching a new story and working on that research. Doing so, if you've heard of method acting, where if an actor has a scene to do, for instance, where they have to, they'd stayed up all night in the scene, and they need to act like they're tired. A method actor will often stay up all night before that scene, so they'll look tired, and it'll be authentic. As far as I know, that's a pretty good description of what method acting is. I do a lot of method writing. As you're aware, many of my readers will know, I travel and I write Sarah into those locations I travel. I will put Sarah in restaurants I have eaten in. I will have Sarah walk through Montone in Umbria, near an area called Umbertide. And Montone is an ancient walled city. So I go there and I tour the city. So I like to do a lot of that, but I also like to do a lot of hands-on. So recently, I've been working a few 12-hour shifts back to back, learning the security industry again, which Parkman does. I haven't worked security for 25 years. I used to have a security officer license, but I ended up getting my private investigator license by the time I was 21, 22. And I used to have contracts where I worked in a factory and I was trying to stem the flow of drugs. I used to, husbands or wives would contact our company, and we all, my wife, I had one contract where the guy thought his wife was cheating. Every Wednesday he takes his daughters to swim lessons for 2 hours, and she disappears for 2 hours. And he doesn't know where she goes. So he hired our company to follow her for those 2 hours. So they contracted me out to do that. Hi, Teresa. And so I followed her and found out, sure enough, she was cheating. And got all the photos and so on. So a lot of what my characters do in my novels are things that I've done. But it's been 25 years or more since I've held a license in any form regarding security. So I recently got my license again. Was fingerprinted by the RCMP. Went through the whole process so I could learn what the process is. And a lot has changed. Hi, Lacey. Hey, Christy. A lot has changed since those days. In Ontario, in Toronto, when fingerprinted to get my private investigator license, the Ontario Provincial Police did it themselves. Where here in Kelowna, a private security company at the RCMP building, the commissionaires, they did the fingerprinting. So, I mean, that's something I need to know when I have a character go in to get a job. Because I've got a new story that I'm working on, and I say I don't outline, but I mean, I'm outlining the idea. I mean, 2-3 pages, and I have an idea. So I've been doing some hands-on research, working in the security industry again, and a lot has changed. I mean, 25 years ago, we didn't have the technology we do today. So these handheld devices they use are just intense. And so I have to actually work shifts to get used to them and learn how they work. So I'm going to be working more shifts over the next few weeks and possibly right through to Christmas to get a feel. And I've had to, I mean, there's contracts where we have to kick vagrants out of ATM units, like at a bank, where you go in and it's warm. And, there's a contract for this, and security gets called. And I like last night I was out and I had to do certain things like this. And anyway, I'm really excited about this research, but it hasn't helped this cold. I need to get rid of this cold, so I'm not working this week. I'm just going to be editing and writing all week. Hey, Ryan. So anyway, I'm doing method writing. That's what I do. I go out and figure it all out and come back and sit down and write it authentically. Anybody in the security industry who is to read one of my novels will see how authentic it is to current industry standards. Excuse me for my coffee here. All right, so first things first. I had several entries into the contest that I was putting on for... I'm slow today with this cold. Okay, so the contest is putting on for what should I do on Facebook Live, and I did receive, excuse me, about a dozen ideas, and I really like the idea. I think I'm going to go with, and the winner of The Future is Written, I'm going to mail this to you. When this is done, I'm going to message you and get your address and mail it out to you. So the winner is, I'm going to take a drink and cause some suspense here. Zanya Miller. I'm going to answer that question in a minute. How did you create Sarah? Was she based on a friend or a family member? Okay, let's cause more suspense. I'll answer that now. Sarah was partly based on a family member, not a friend. I lost my brother when I was 14. After I lost my brother, he died skiing. He was killed. He got off track and got lost in the snow in the mountains of Alberta, if anyone knows, Sunshine Mountain, near Banff, Alberta. And they found his frozen body, I think it was a couple of kilometers from his skis and poles because he'd started walking, and hypothermia. So I'm 14 years old at the time, and he went missing for 2 weeks, and then they found his body. And so that was really hard for me at 14, of course. And so when I was 17, 18, there were a couple of times when I had dreams of my brother, and these dreams were prophetic. He told me to do something in my dream. I did it, and the future was written. Something came true to what he told me. I had another dream when I was in 96. So I was 27, and I remember specifically because I had dinner with him in a dream, and he showed me this beautiful house. And when we were done having dinner, I walked into the door in my dream, very vivid. I still see the dream, and said goodbye to him. And I watched him walk down the sidewalk. I moved into that house 6 months later, and I didn't recognize it till I was already moved in. So I saw that my brother was talking to me and telling me the future, that he's okay on the other side, that he's all good. So I did a lot of research on the other side, near-death experiences. Started talking to psychics just to see what that was all about, and that's where Sarah came from. And Sarah has her sister tell her things about the future. And to make it thrilling, she tells her about kidnappings and bad stuff. So, the winner is Rachel Rubalcava. I will message you, Rachel. I love the idea of do a Facebook Live on how I got published. The back end info. I have a very unique experience. Okay, well, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Talking to you, Joby. And Zanya, thanks. Yeah, Ryan, it happened before I met you, I think. So anyway, do a Facebook Live on how I got published, the back-end info, how I got an editor, agent, etc. A really unique experience. Now, every experience is going to be unique to that person, of course. Now, mine, I really think it's super unique in a way that it was like I really fought for this. And I spent a couple of decades really fighting for this. And I think that there's some milestones along the way and things that, thanks Marie, Rosemary, sorry. Milestones along the way, and things that other writers, possibly the readers, should hear, in my opinion. And I think that when I read all of these ideas, this one really spoke to me. This one really meant something to me. And I really like that idea. So I'm going to jot a few ideas down so I'm prepared to make sure the milestones and the important things are met and discussed. So there you go. I'm going to do Rachel, her whole name, Rachel Bush Rubalcava. If I do it slowly, I think I can get it. I'm terrible with names. Thanks, Doug. So I'm going to do that. I don't know if it'll be the next Facebook Live. It'll be either the next or the one after. I'm not sure yet. I don't even know when I'm going to do another Facebook Live. Probably another week, but it might be 2 weeks. Really busy lately, and I love these. So, two more quick things. One, I'm very, very nerdy. Look at my phone screensaver. Okay, my own book. Isn't that? I don't know. It's not that I worship myself. That's how it looks. Very. I just love my cover, and I love it. And then here, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. This is, what the heck? Oh, there it is. That's a countdown. And it says, I know it's inverted and I know it's mirroring. That's a countdown that says 4 months, 7 hours, and 46 minutes until March 6th. March 6th, when The Future is Written is released worldwide. It's only at Barnes & Noble, exclusive right now in the United States. My countdown is on, ticking away, 4 months. When that countdown is done and March 6th arrives, I'm going to reset that countdown to June 5th. June 5th is when the Immortal Gene comes out. I love my little countdowns. And by June I'll have another book release planned and so on, or a TV release or a movie release. I don't know. I'll tell you all about it though. So that's that. Here comes the story. Okay, so I'll start at the beginning. I wanted to talk about this near-death experience. Now, it's funny, I said near-death experience, and then I got thinking, well, wait a second, not an NDE. I didn't actually have one of those, but I was almost killed. So that was pretty close to death, so I called it a near-death. So, as you're aware, most of you might know, in 2011, I was living in Italy. Brenda and I were living in a place called Umbertide in Umbria. It's 2.5 hours north of Rome. And we're in, okay, you have to know I have to tell you a few of the details to set this up. So we're in Umbria, okay, in a little town called Umbertide. Now, Sarah visits this place. Actually, she visits it a couple times. And the one important thing you should know is if you've read The Rogue, Book 8, there's a scene where Sarah's in Umbertide. She goes to a farmhouse. And in this farmhouse, she finds a sniper in a bathroom window. That was the house I was living in. So, we're in this house. Umbertide is this city here. I live 5 kilometers from Umbertide. In this, they call it egoturismo, working farm house, agricultural area. Although the house I'm living in, the farm is defunct. So it's just Brent and I. It's a 200-year-old rustico. It's a beautiful home. We really enjoyed our time there. We were there for about 4 months. I need to lubricate. So Umbertide is 5 kilometers away. Miles, fine. A little place called Pierantonio is 2 kilometers away. So Pierantonio is closer to walk to. Now, between our house and Pierantonio, there's a little 2-lane highway, but there are no shoulders. So you can't walk the highway. I walked the highway once, and every time a car came, I had to step into this thick brush because I'd get hit by a rear mirror. So there's just, you can't walk the highway. So you have to walk through this brush, this I'm going to have to blow my nose. I'm sorry, this cold is bothering me. Excuse me for a second. So, we don't walk the highway. There's a train that goes along the highway. So we decide to start walking on the train tracks. Now, we've taken the train many times into Perugia. If anybody knows the Amanda Knox story, we were there when she was in court back in 2011 in Perugia. We would take this regional train to Perugia. So we knew the times. They come at, I don't know, every 40 minutes or whatever it is. One comes north, one goes south, whatever. So we know the times. We're walking the track. We check our watch. Sure enough, the train's coming within 5 minutes. We're a kilometer into the walk. So we get off the track and we wait a little bit, and this train comes barreling down the track and races right by us. We're good. So we get back on the track and we keep walking. We get to a place where there's a bridge. You ever seen Stand By Me? With that long bridge, and the boys are walking across the bridge, and the train's coming at them, and they're running and running and running. Well, we look at this bridge, and I think, Stand By Me. I'm like, oh my goodness, we have to cross this bridge. And I look down and thinking, no, we can't cross the bridge. We'll walk down into the ravine. And we look, and it's like 200 meters. It's way down, gets really thick down there. It goes a little bit and then comes back up the other side. We need to get to the other side. The bridge is the easiest. We know the routes. We know the schedules. Let's do this. Let's go for it. So Brenda and I agree. We're going to start walking across this bridge. There's no railings. There's nothing. There's just this train, and you're going to walk trestle to trestle. We think we're fine. So we decide, let's go for it. And we know the times. We're good. And we start walking across the bridge. And this was a huge mistake. So as we start walking, Brenda's ahead of me. And we're looking where we're stepping. And I'm logging mentally how close we are to halfway. Because I'm thinking, if I hear a train coming, we have enough time to run back. Once we hit halfway, if I hear a train coming, we'll have to run forward. So I'm logging everything, and I look behind me, I look forward, and I'm watching, and we're trudging along. We finally hit the halfway mark. And I look to my right, to my left, and it's a death drop. It's really high. And so I don't look left and right again, because, that's not good. So we keep going, and we pass halfway, and we take a few more steps. And I check my watch, and we're good for time. Up ahead, the train tracks disappear around a corner. There's a bit of a rocky hill. And I don't know how long, I forget now. Maybe 200-300 yards before the train tracks disappear around a corner. We have passed halfway. We're 60% across this bridge now, and we hear a rumbling. And we're only 60%. And I stop, and I'm, no way. And I check the time. It's not supposed to come. And my wife screams, what are we going to do? And we look down, we're trapped. We cannot run back. It's too far. If we go forward, we're going toward, and sure enough, a train comes barreling around the corner. And we're stuck. And all I did was yell, run. I just ran as loud as I could. Well, Brenda turns around and runs into me. We were already halfway by. We were already past half. I meant run forward, run toward the train because we're closer to that side. She ran into me and we almost fell. I grabbed her, I spun her around and said, no, that way. Luckily, she trusted me enough and was blinded to what was going on that she just said in her head, fine, and started running towards the train. Step, 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 step on each one. I followed as close as I could. The train's horn is just blaring. And I can hear the brakes screaming. And there's nothing. He's not going to stop in time. He actually doesn't. To give you the end story. So we're running, and I look over her shoulder, and the train's about to enter the bridge. And we still have so much to go. Anyway, as the train's brakes slowed it enough, as we're running, I don't know how fast those trains go, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. He was still going 20 when we got close. Now, remember, the ravine came down like in a V. So I'm looking at the edge as we're running towards the end. The train's coming. We're out of time. The train's entered the bridge, and we're about to be hit. And so I yelled, yes, Ryan, actually, we did live through this. I yelled, jump. Brenda was already there. She launched over the track to the edge of one trestle and dove for the ravine, for the side. And I just saw her launching, and then I saw the train 5 feet in front of me coming still at 20 miles an hour. And I launched too. And I was so close when the train went by that it knocked my hair. I felt the wind, my shirt ruffled with the wind. And I had a glimpse of the driver's face, wide eyes, mouth, just in shock. And I just, right by the train. Brenda landed on, the ground's flat and it drops fast. Brenda landed on that part where it drops and started to slide into this huge 200-meter hole. I happened to land on the top. The second I landed on my knees and rolled, I looked and she disappeared below the edge. I reached over, dove down, and I was able to grab the back of her shirt. It was summer in Italy. It was August. Grab the back of her shirt to arrest her slide. And if it couldn't get any worse, her shirt started to rip. And I heard this, but it was enough to stop her slide. She climbed back up, and we both lay there breathing life into ourselves, thinking we had died. I mean, it was really crazy. And we knew the times of the train. Our house lived near the train tracks. We hear it every day, week after week after week. We know the times of the train. This was one extra train that just was, I don't know what happened. To this day, I still don't know why that train was on that track. The train finally did stop. He stopped at almost on the other side of the bridge. And I could see the engineer's head back looking at us and screaming something in Italian. And we got to our feet and walked into the bush, and the train took off. So anyway, that was my near-death experience. We, just like Stand By Me, we made it to the edge, and we had to jump. And I'll just never forget that. Brenda wrote a piece about that. I think she blogged about it in 2011. I know that she wrote a piece about it. I could have read it, but I didn't. I don't have it here. We were going to write like a memoir one day of where we traveled, what we did, and how we became Jonas Saul. And as you probably already know, she also has written a few books and has them on Amazon. So we were going to talk a bit about that and the different experiences. So I know she's written about that experience. And that's it for today. I have a bit of a cold. I'm going to rest and get rid of this cold. I've heard that red wine helps. Haven't had a glass of wine in over a week, so I'm going to have a glass of wine and relax. And this cold will be gone in a day or two, and I'm back to work. Well, I'm back to work tomorrow morning. You can't not work because you have a cold when you're a writer. All you do is sit tight. So, thanks for watching, everyone. This has been fun. I always love doing this. Chat with you all soon. Rachel, I'm going to message you. Oh, and Claude Bouchard, I saw a note here. I had promised you a book. So I'm mailing that out this week. And I think that's all I needed to cover this one. Thank you, Lacey. I will soon, I hope. It's in the throat, in the nose, the little chest. I'm just, oh well, what are you going to do? That sounded a little like, what's that guy's name? Sam Neill or Sam Elliott? Sam Elliott. Back in the days when he was in the movie Roadhouse. Oh, there's Rachel. Hello. You won. I don't know if you heard that. Yeah, Sam Elliott. I'll get all the sleep I need when I'm dead. His voice all deep and dark like that. Love that guy's voice. Anyway, okay. I'm not saying I'm like this guy at all. Just that voice reminded me of that. So, all right. Try tea and honey and lemon. Oh, red wine always gets rid of my cold. What are you talking about, Janet? But you're right. I should be having tea and wine, honey. And I just feel better with red wine. Like I don't feel the symptoms. Enjoy, everybody, and I will be in much better spirits on the next Facebook Live. All right. Take care. Jonas out.